Hey, what's up, everyone? Today we're going to talk about a subject that's very, very close to my heart, and that is defunding the BBC. Now, personally, I would go even further than just defunding it, but that's a topic for another video. It'll be one of many videos probably on the BBC because I cannot stand it. Of course, philosophically, I'm opposed to state-funded news or state-funded media outlets. British taxpayer money should not be propping up any business, in my opinion, and let alone a news outlet. We need to abolish the licence fee, let the BBC stand alone and see how it fares. 6 or 7 years ago, I don't think it would have had much trouble. It could move to a subscription-based model, which I know they're talking about doing, and I think they've got something with ITV. 6 or 7 years ago, it wouldn't have had much of a problem with that. However, 5 or so years ago, there was it began this kind of drastic decline in objective journalism, and just this massive influx and incline of partisan politics and politically correct woke bullshit. And just for an entity that prides itself on being unbiased, it's laughable, really. And I would be laughing if it wasn't me footing the bill. It's the same problem with the television and media content they produce. We're going to create content catered to a tiny, tiny portion of the audience, a particularly elitist portion of the audience, and then expect everyone else to pay the bill. Nobody in their right mind wants to pay to be lectured to and told that they are the problem with society. And that's exactly what's happening with the BBC. And to me, it goes beyond that philosophical, political, fundamental, whatever argument it is, to when you're using people's money, public money, to try and brainwash part of the population, and then you get angry and upset and call them racist or bigoted in some way whenever they disagree. I think the BBC's coverage of the coronavirus pandemic has been an absolute disgrace, and they, along with other legacy media outlets, should be held at least partly responsible for these panic-based decisions taken by the idiots in Westminster. Now I know I'm jumping around between sort of media and TV and news and everything the BBC's putting out, the sports as well. But we're going to focus just on the media for today, TV shows, movies, whatever else is in between. Let's get into it. Doctor Who, one of the biggest exports from the BBC, if not the biggest. It was a massive success over here, and in the States as well when it relaunched. I think it was 2005 now, so 15 years ago. Personally, I stopped watching towards the end of David Tennant's Doctor. Was he the 11th Doctor? Or 10th? 11th? I don't know. I really liked Christopher Eccleston, the first one they brought back when they first brought it back. I know he was only on for one season, but I really liked Christopher Eccleston. And then really got into David Tennant's character, but I kind of just fell off Doctor Who. I felt like once you missed a few episodes, you were kind of stuck, and I wasn't really going to go back and just watch it. And I remember looking on Netflix a while back, I think it was last summer, I looked on Netflix at Doctor Who, and there's just an insane amount of episodes that I'm never ever going to catch up. So I've left Doctor Who. I wish it all the best. I didn't see any of Matt Smith's Doctor. I didn't see any of Peter Capaldi as Doctor, and I haven't seen any of Jodie Whittaker's Doctor either. Now, if I'm going to comment on something, usually I like to have seen what I'm commenting on, done a little bit of research, like primary research, but I've read through and watched a number of articles and videos on the fall of Doctor Who from fans. I get the idea, and it's just symptomatic of the BBC's decline into this elitist, sanctimonious, phony crap. A few months back, an article appeared on the BBC website asking whether fans are too entitled. This was in reference to Sonic the Hedgehog being redesigned after there was negative reception to the design of Sonic in the original trailer for this movie. I haven't seen the Sonic movie. I have no interest in seeing Sonic the Hedgehog movie. There was a negative reception to the design of the character. And the director and people behind the movie listened. They redid Sonic, and it turned out, Sonic the Hedgehog had the largest opening for a game-based movie ever. Now, Stephen Kelly, who penned this article, asks, what does this mean for creativity when fans have this sort of level of entitlement? I'll tell you what it means, Stephen, you dumb dildo. Here we go. Established franchises and characters, etc., and these exist at such a level, they enter sort of the public conscience at such a level because they have fans. Because of fans. Game of Thrones would not have made as much money or affected pop culture as much if it didn't have any fans. You say for the final season. I don't know anyone who's a fan of that season. Or if George Martin's books didn't have fans, the series wouldn't have been made. If you have a good product, there are people out there who will consume it, to whatever degree. As for creativity, with an established entity, creativity is obviously constrained by existing story arcs, previous character history, things that are going on within that universe that constrain it to whatever degree. But I would argue that constraints tend to lead to increased creativity. And it's like, okay, we want this character to get to this point, but because of X event in the past or this or that, they can't do it in a conventional way. So how do we get from A to B? And creative solutions are required. And if one found themselves producing an established series with an existing fan base and a huge backstory with years, decades of character development, is it creative of me? Is it creative of me to shit all over that legacy, completely scrap years of history, dump all over other people's work, scrap what they've turned that character into, where he's come from or she's come from? No, it's shitty. That's just self-entitlement right there. You talk about fans being entitled. That is entitlement right there. And I'm going to come out and say it. I'm talking to you, Chris Chibnall, the guy behind Doctor Who, and Stephen Kelly, who wrote this article, and to all the other bloody stupid directors out there who feel the need that they have the divine right to lecture us on what we should be thinking. It's selfish. It's entitled. You do not own that character. Chris Chibnall does not own the Doctor. It's owned by the fans. Just like, I'm not sure who's behind Star Wars and all the bullshit being Star Wars. But yeah, Disney owns Star Wars technically, but it's owned by the fans, if you know what I mean, on a sort of different level. It's never going to... You're not going to make any money, really, unless you have fans. So yeah, sort of lost where I am. Yeah, you don't own that character. And then to bash the fan base when they react negatively. I've had this situation before. I think when it's you versus millions of people, it's probably not the millions of people who are the problem. If you want to be creative, with no limits, no constraints whatsoever, create something new. They can't create anything new because everything that comes out of this woke Hollywood cesspit, there is zero creativity, zero originality. They don't know how to do anything original anymore. By all means, create a female Doctor. Taking a beloved male character and replacing them with a female actress because of some weird vendetta against usually white males, it's a huge victory for women everywhere, I'm sure. Forget about the actual issues affecting women around the world. What we need is female Ghostbusters. We need female James Bond. We need a female Danny Ocean. Is it Danny Ocean? We need female Doctor Who. Just replace everything with white men in with females to show that women are as good as men. I hate that argument. How about be better? Do something original with heart and creativity. And, if it turns out you can't do that without sort of lecturing people or throwing other people under the bus and calling people idiots or belittling other people, then probably creating media content is not for you. It's not the patriarchy's fault. It's not men's fault. It's not anything. You just suck at making movies or TV shows. It's not the fans' fault. It's I wish I could play in the NBA. But if you look at me, you can see there's no way I would ever get to play in the NBA or even basketball to any sort of high level. But tearing down what others have built before you does not make you successful or a good person or brave or stunning or whatever other adjective they want to use. It only succeeds in pissing people off. And the problem is when people do get pissed off and complain, that female actress or character or whatever it is then used as a stick to batter the fans with. Like Jodie Whittaker, for example, she literally just gets used as a meat shield for these vindictive, self-absorbed, preachy losers to hide behind when criticism gets thrown their way. If you criticise Chris Chibnall's writing on Doctor Who, it's not because he sucks at writing, he doesn't know sci-fi or the story or anything. is, oh, you're sexist because you don't like the female doctor. Mate, it's nothing to do with the fact that she's female, or that it's been completely forced upon us, and there's nothing natural about it. It's because she's terrible as the doctor, the writing is appalling, and you've taken a giant dump over the backstory, you've alienated the majority of fans, and you're producing a show with an extremely partisan, politically correct message that comes across as condescending and just completely out of touch with reality. It's like I was watching a Rick Stein series. Now, Rick Stein, people who don't know, is a kind of semi-famous TV chef. He owns a few restaurants here and there, mostly down in Cornwall. I was watching a Rick Stein series where he was traveling down the west coast of America into Mexico. And on the way, he stops at a vineyard or an apple orchard or somewhere. And we're treated to 5 minutes. There's some guy crying about the plight of Mexican farmers and how evil Donald Trump is and the border. And it's like, bro, come on. This is a cooking show. I want to watch Rick Stein eat a quesadilla, and talk about food. I don't need politics. I don't need, especially one-sided politics with absolutely zero objectivity. In my cooking shows, I don't need it in my cooking shows. I don't need it in my sports, for that matter. Again, that's another topic for another video. NFL, the NBA, and all these things wonder why their viewership's going down. Stop lecturing people. I don't know. There'll be plenty more to come for this. Come on this. I hate the BBC, and hopefully we'll see Boris get something right at least and defund it. Have a great day. Cheers.